Hello there, welcome once again to USR1 Retro. Thank you for joining me for part 2 of my videos detailing Nintendo month. And for today's Nintendo offering, I'm going to be having a bash at R-Type on the Game Boy, specifically through the Super Game Boy on the Super Nintendo. And I'm also going to be doing a top 5 of my favourite Game Boy games as well. So something a little bit different at the end of the video. Well, halfway through the video possibly. Just a quick note: if you do like this video and you want to see more, remember to hit like, hit subscribe, comment. It all helps with the YouTube algorithms and whatnot, and it gets the videos out there to more people who might be interested in this load of old gumph. And also remember to share amongst your friends, your family, your dog, stranger up the road, and a burglar. I don't know, whoever you want, share it far and wide. As I say, it all helps, and whatnot. So yeah, R-Type on the Game Boy, done by Bits. The original game was obviously by Irem. It was released in 87, 88 I do believe. I might be wrong on that, it might have been about 88, 89, I can't remember. But this particular port was done in 1991. And I've played many of the different versions of R-Type. I mean, I had the Spectrum version first of all, and I really liked it, really enjoyed it. And that was on the Hit Squad label, and it became one of my favourite Spectrum games. And it wasn't until I think it was a couple of years later, I was on holiday down in Great Yarmouth. I might have mentioned this in one of the other videos. And I'm certain that R-Type was one of the machines. Either that or it might have been Southend on Sea, one of the arcades down there. And yeah, I found an R-Type machine, put a pound coin in, and I gave it a bloody good bash. And even though it was as hard as nails, I really enjoyed it. And so any version of R-Type that I can get or I come across, I'll definitely get it because I enjoy the game that much. So this particular version, which is the Japanese cartridge copy, it's cost me £10 off of eBay, whereas the PAL release, like the British release, and I think also the US release, it goes for a little bit more. Certainly in CEX, the cartridge only copy in there I saw, I think it was about 18 quid. So a £10 for that off of eBay, including like plus postage, £1.60 or something. I'd say it was an absolute bargain, and it's all in English. So you know, it's win-win all round. So with my speed pad, because my original Super Nintendo joypad has gone missing, and my replacements have literally gone up the swanee, I thought I'd have to use this one. We're gonna have a bash. We're gonna see how far I get, and as I say, after that I'll be running through my top 5 Game Boy games. And of course, with any of my top 5s or even my top 10, it changes wildly from day to day. So it's not a definitive top 5, I suppose you could call it top 5 of the day. So it's like tomorrow one game could be out and another different game could be in. So here we go with R-Type on the Game Boy. Oh crap, we put that scenery there. These dodgy builders. Well, how I managed to do that, I really don't know. Crap. Right, well that didn't go exactly to plan, so we're going to have another crack at it. Oh crap. Now I wonder if... oh, maybe not. I was going to say, in the other versions, that it manages to pull itself away from the back and starts advancing towards you, and it doesn't seem to do it on this one. It still takes quite a few hits to destroy, though. Shit moves a little bit faster now. Oh! Oh no 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 no! Oh! That was a definite fucking heart attack inducing moment. It was like. No! No! Oh. This end of level boss is definitely more trickier than on other versions. There we go. Fucking right, okay, so I can stay up there. I thought he was going to be able to get me then. So that seems to be the trick, just staying up in the top left-hand corner. Not that I'm complaining, of course. Well, I think I spoke too soon there. Well, that strategy didn't work either. damn it. Oh man, I forgot how hard that second boss really was. I really did forget. It's but the thing is, I keep coming back for more, and that's what I like about R-Type. It's just one of those games that, even though it's infuriating, it's still, I mean, it still drags you back in for more. It's one of those one more must-play games, and that is a top conversion. It really is a top conversion by bits. You know, I mean, their version of Alien 3 on the Game Boy, as I said in my Alien 3 video, while it looked good, it didn't play that well. But this looks, sounds, and plays the part. Even if your ship is a little bit slower, it makes it a little bit more harder. But it's still a fantastic game. Really is. Absolutely, really recommended. As I say, get hold of the Japanese version, because it's all in English and it will play on your UK Game Boy anyway. So anyway, moving on to part 2 of the video, and it is my top 5 Game Boy games. Now, some of these I've had since since I had the Game Boy, which I won many years ago on a newspaper competition. And I can't remember what the question was. I think it was something like what was the name of the Italian plumber, Nintendo's mascot, or something like that. And so it was actually, it had come out not long before, and I sent off the postcard with the answer, and I thought, right, that's it, I'm not going to hear no more of it. I haven't won, you know. And I think it was something about 2 weeks later, a letter came, and I got home from school, opened it up, and it said, congratulations on winning the contest. And I was like, I beg your pardon. I thought this has got to be some kind of like scam letter or something, you know. But no, it was actually a proper letter from, I think it was the Daily Mirror, as it was known at that time. A letter from them saying that I was successful, that I'd won the competition, and that I'd won a Nintendo Game Boy, and basically that I had to go and pick it up. So I think that was the day that my dad got home from work early, said to him that I'd won it, and we went to Comet in Harlow and picked it up from there, and it was brilliant. It really was. It came with, what did it come with? It came with Tetris. And I think I got that, and I'm certain that I got Bart's Escape from Camp Deadly. So that was like the first 2 games that I had: Tetris, which was the packing game, and Escape from Camp Deadly. And for my birthday, I'd actually got Mega Man 2 and WWF Superstars, and I still have those exact same copies today. Same with the other games as well, so I still got those. And it was just some fantastic memories of that. But sadly, a couple of years after I'd won it, me not knowing anything about repairs or anything like that, the D-pad stopped working. So in the end, I threw it. And to this day, I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd kept it so I could have fixed it when I was older than that. And then the next one I had was a red one, but the screen fell out. It was, I don't know why. The screen just popped out for some reason. And I tried gluing it back in. It did hold, but for some reason, it just stopped working. For some reason, just stopped working. And so now, after having a Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, a Game Boy Color, which my wife got me a couple of years ago, and I actually bought an original Game Boy off of Spock, and it was 20 quid, and it came with a magnifier. Case is in need of some TLC, but I'm so glad I got another one. I haven't used it for a while, but I'm so glad I got another one. I'm going to try and get another case for it, put it into it, so it's like refurbished and all that, and you know, and then it's going to literally take pride of place. So as I say, I've had the Game Boy since it literally came out, and these games are from across, well, not across the lifetime, but some of them are from like the beginning, and they're games that I've come to like. And yeah, so without further ado, actually I'll tell you what, that one, I've actually got a big box of Game Boy games right here, and Game Gear, and Atari Lynx. Now, the fun part is I've got so many games. So many games. You know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a top 6. I'm going to do a top 6. I have so many Game Boy games. It is unreal. Really is unreal. And you know what? I'm going to do some honourable mentions. Honourable mentions. I've got so many. And I need to get cases for many of them. So, I mean, some of these games I'd bought from like eBay. Some I'd actually had I bought from like boot sales and that, when games and that were cheap as chips. But the sad thing is that you don't see bargains like this at car boots no more, because everyone's cottoned on that eBay is the place to sell your games. And they want top dollar. Which is quite sad. It really is. Because I've got 2 copies of Battletoads. I never realised I had 2 copies of Battletoads. Right, that one's going to be sold. Yeah. So, oh, Dino Blaster. Oh, that can be an honourable mention as well. That can be sold. So, yes. I'll tell you what. They can go there as well. The box of handheld gaming goodness. Handheld retro gaming goodness. So, first off, I'm going to do the honourable mentions. And the first one, we know it under a different name now. But this game was released on the Amiga under the same name by Ubisoft. I think it was Ubisoft? No, it was released on the Amiga by Ubisoft, or distributed. And I traded. Did I trade this, or was I given? I can't remember if I was traded this or if I bought it. But I remember getting this in secondary school. I'd taken my Game Boy in, and there was a load of us that were like playing Game Boy games and, you know, and things like that. And I think there was a game that I had that I didn't want, so I traded it for this one, or I bought it. I can't remember, like, you know, if I'm getting my wires switched. But this one, it's such good fun. Really is good fun. Even though it's like, I used to just play the single player of this because I never had anyone to play this game with. Huge sentience. But even saying that, the single player is damn good fun. And the first honourable mention is Dino Blaster, as we call it now, Bomberman. And it's, as I say, it's such a fun game. Such a fun game. And it's like the single player sees you blowing up like monsters and different things like that, and yeah, such good fun. Really enjoy that game, really do. I think it was released on the NES as well, and funnily enough, Spectrum owners would also know about this game as well, funnily enough, as it was released I still can't get over this name. It was released on the Spectrum under the name Eric and the Floaters. Yes, exactly. Eric and the Floaters. No, he wasn't a plumber that used to go around destroying phantom turds. No, he never. No, he never. But apparently it was good fun on that. I've never played it, but you know. The second honourable mention. It's been an arcade game. It's been on NES, the Mega Drive, the Super Nintendo, with 2 games. The Sega Mega Drive, I think it was under 2 games. And I think the Game Boy was a couple of games. By Rare. And it's been hailed as possibly one of the hardest games of all time. And I have to agree with that because I've never really got far with it. I do need to because I quite enjoy it. But it's the difficulty level that knocks it out of the top 5, and it's Battletoads. Basically Rare's version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With some humour thrown in, and you're basically going up against a load of pigs. Is it pigs or rats? It's pigs or rats. It's one of the two. And then the names of the Battletoads: Rash, Pimple, and Zitz, or something, or Zip, something, I don't know, some humorous names. But no, it is good fun. It is good fun, but it's just the difficulty level kind of lets it down for me. But that's the only thing that keeps it out of the top 5. The third honourable mention is one that I've already mentioned in my memories of the Game Boy. And again, it was one of the very first games that I had, and it was my first taste of the game. And I think it was just the artwork that drew me, even though looking at it now, the artwork is pretty shocking. Really is pretty awful. And it looks like he's actually straining to have a dump. He really is. But no, this is my first taste of the series. And while I have gotten quite far on it, I think there was one level that really frustrated me, and I haven't gone back to it, and I really do need to. Great graphics, great sound. As I say, rock hard gameplay. And again, same as Battletoads, that keeps it out of my top 5, and it's Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2. Obviously, I've not played the NES version of Mega Man 2, so I don't know how different it is, but it is good, even if it is a little on the tough side. And as I say, it's one of the first Game Boy games that I ever had, and as I say, I do enjoy it, even though it is quite a tough game. It's just knowing what's the optimum order to do the levels in, so that you can tackle like some like end of level bad guys easier or something. Because I think there's a way to do it that if you do it one way, it actually makes it harder or something. I don't know, but it's one that I do need to go back to. The fourth honourable mention is also, again, one of the games I've already mentioned, and you can play this game linked up to another Game Boy, so you can do 2-player battles, let's just say. And for me, it's from the golden era of WWF, and it is WWF Superstars. There was a second one, but apparently that's harder to get hold of. While I wouldn't mind getting it, I'm quite happy with this one. I think there's only about 4 or 5 wrestlers that you beat the crap out of, and I think you can either pick one of these 3 on the front: Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and I'm certain you could pick $1 Million Man and British Bulldog as well, but I can't remember it. I really can't remember, but I had such fun with this, such fun. I do remember one of the players you fight against was Mr. Perfect, and he's a bastard in this. He really is. But it is good fun. I really enjoy this, and it's actually one of LJN's better games, which is a rarity. But no, it is good fun. It really is good fun. And the last honourable mention was a game that I actually picked up in Eastbourne about 5 years ago. And the cartridge artwork is absolutely horrendous. But the actual artwork that they used on the front cover is the same artwork that was on the Spectrum version, which was released years before. And as I say, I got this in Eastbourne. I think it was only about a £5. I'm glad I picked it up because it is quite good fun. It is quite good fun. And I do remember the arcade game being quite difficult. And I played that once. Where did I play that? I think it was Play Manchester. I think it was about 2018. Was it 2018 or 2017? It was one of the two. No, it was 2016, I think it was. And yeah, really enjoyed it. I enjoy the Spectrum version, even though it's as tough as nails again. And it's Super Hunchback by Ocean. And yeah, as you can see, the if the camera can focus on that well enough, that artwork is absolutely bloody horrendous. Whereas this is the artwork, because this was like a custom case, like a DS custom thing. That's the artwork from the Spectrum, Commodore, and Amstrad versions, and it is much better and much more cartoon orientated than that. It looks like someone's just tried to draw Matt Damon from Team America and give him buck teeth. It's absolutely terrible. It really is. But the game still plays pretty good. It really does. Another Ocean game. And as I say, it's one of the Game Boys, one of the good Game Boy games. It just misses out on a spot in my top 5 because it can get a little bit repetitive. But while it lasts, it is still good fun. It really is. Well, I say top 5, I mean top 6, not top 5. So that's the 5 honourable mentions. So now we're going to get to the crux, to the cream of the crop. Let's just say crop. Oh, I tried to be all regal, and it came across like, I don't know, I was having some sort of spasm. I don't know. So, in no particular order, then, my top six Game Boy games. This first one was the first. Is this probably? Yes, it is an original Game Boy game. Okay, fair enough. I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was a knockoff, but no, it's not. It's not. It is a proper Game Boy game. Okay, fair enough. This one by Konami, from their long-running vampire killing series. If that's not a big enough giveaway, I don't know. And it was the first outing on the Game Boy for this series, the Castlevania Adventure. Now, many people would say that the second one was better, but for some reason I really like this. Even though it's a little bit slower, I do get a hell of a lot of enjoyment out of this. It is really, in my mind, really good. It's as good as the second one. In fact, I think it might be a little bit better. But that, as I say, that is just my opinion. Whatever you think. After I've fumbled the game, whatever you think, that's your opinion. You know, I'm not going to debate whether you're right or I'm right or whatever. But, you know, opinions make the world go round. But yes, I do think that this is a top-notch game. And in my mind, severely underrated. Such a good game. The next one, then. Now, this one, I think is... Yes, it is. It is based on the 1989 movie. No, it's not Star Trek 5. Yeah, based on the 1989 movie. And it's got the same graphical style as another game in this top 6. But it is damn fun to play. and it is Batman the video game based on Batman '89, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. And as I say, it is very much graphically like one of the other games in this top 6, and it's a damn fine game. It's probably one of the best Game Boy games ever made. Well, in my opinion, it is, by Sunsoft. And it's, if you can find a copy, check it out. If you haven't played it, it's well worth a crack. It is. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Different weapons you can pick up. You can smash blocks to get those. You've got enemies with guns, and you can like knock them off and all that. And you have to jump on blocks and stuff. So it's your typical platformer. But it's really good though. Really, really good. Really well done game. The next one is an arcade conversion, and it's one I think, yes, I featured on the channel before. And this one, as I say, is based on the arcade game. The Taito. I'll say Taito. That'll do, Taito. And it's Chase HQ. And it's a very competent port. I love this game. Really, really do. It's just such a fun game to play. It really is such good fun. And how they managed to get all the controls onto the... excuse me, I fumbled the game again. Yeah, how they managed to fit all the controls onto a little handheld console with 2 main fire buttons, a start and select and diagonal. I have no idea whatsoever. It's witchcraft. That's what it is. It's witchcraft. Burn them at the stake. It is a hell of a lot of fun. Graphics are brilliant on it. Really are. The sounds are ample for the Game Boy. The music, while it is good, it does start to get repetitive. However, the gameplay is where it's at, and it is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's probably one of the best versions of Chase HQ there is, bar the ZX Spectrum version. The ZX Spectrum version for me is the home version bar. The Amiga version, while it does look good in still pictures, the animation for me is awful, and it's just boring to play. So the Spectrum version and this, I think, are on level pegging. Good versions. I think this one just tops it though. For what they managed to achieve on the Game Boy was absolutely, it was witchcraft. It really was. Same with the Spectrum version, how they fitted it in 128K, multi-loading on the 48K, one big load on the Spectrum. That sounds quite wrong. I could say install, but you know. And it's like, even though there's no music during the game, there is a little bit of speech. It was fantastic on the Spectrum, but that, even though there's no speech, it is just a fantastic version. If you find it, play it. Brilliant. The next one is it the only sports game here? Yes, it's the only sports game. I mean, I must admit, I haven't got no football games on the Game Boy, and that's something that I really do need to rectify, because I wouldn't mind seeing how our football games play on the Game Boy. But this, I've still got my passwords here as well. Only 2 of them. Only 2 passwords to continue the game. Yeah, this one's the only sports game I've got. No, I haven't. No, so I've got race driving as well, but for some reason that cartridge doesn't work. But this is the only boxing game. There we go. It's the only boxing game I've got on the Game Boy. And again, I got this in Comet in Harlow, and I think this was it was cheap at the time. I think it was only about a tenner. I don't think it had come out all that long before, but I think it was literally just like a sale clearance. I don't think it was like selling very well, but I picked this up for a tenner. And I'm glad I did, because it's probably one of my favourite boxing games. I mean, I don't mind boxing games. I mean, I've got World Boxing Manager Championship Boxing Manager or something or other, by Goliath Games on the Amiga, and I loved it because it was just brilliant, just to try and train your fighter up and then take him to fights, and then if you haven't trained him up enough, you see he gets his head weaved into the canvas. Great fun. But this, when you actually take control of the boxer, I think it's a side on. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's very warm. It's just making me very tired. Seeing, like, playing this game and having it like a side on, like from like the torso up, you don't see the legs. From what I can remember, it was brilliant boxing game, lots of fun, and it's Muhammad Ali heavyweight boxing by Virgin, and it's just a brilliant boxing game. Really is. I mean, you get to train the fighter, and then you get to be him, and it is really good. Fantastic graphics, some great sound effects as well, and it's worth the try if you find it. It's worth the try. As I say, especially if you like boxing games, it's probably one of the best ones I've played. I mean, I've played Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing on the Mega Drive, and it was alright. I wouldn't mind trying Tough Man Contest on the Mega Drive. As I say, I've played Boxing Manager on the Amiga by Goliath Games. I loved it. Yeah, so Muhammad Ali's boxing. It's a knockout. I'm so sorry, the gag was shit, but it's worth it. It's worth a punt. It's worth a punt. It's such a good game. Now we're on to the final two. They're in the same series of games. I don't think any top 10, top 5, top 6, top 7, whatever, top 2, top 3 is complete without these. I mean, at least without the second one. And that's what I'm going to start off with. When I played this, I think, where did I get this from? I think I might have got this from Argos in Harlow. Yes, I bought a hell of a lot of games from Harlow when I went there. I used to go there every single Saturday. I'd go to places like Future Zone. I think that was probably the only place up the town just used to go in Future Zone because it was just the best. Nope, sorry, I tell a lie. There was Software Plus down Post Office Walk, and I used to buy a shed ton of Spectrum and Amiga games in there. And then when they started to get the console games in there, I bought quite a few from them. And then they closed down, unfortunately, and then it became a fucking candle shop. And there was a couple of other places as well. Sorry, no, my memory is faltering. There was 2 other places. There was W.H. Smith's in the High Street, and there was Boots. You used to be able to get games in Boots. Funnily enough, they had a home entertainment division right at the very back of the store in Harlow, and so did W.H. Smith's. Again, right at the back on the left-hand side, there was like a little section. You go through. It's like doorway, huge doorway. And it was all like entertainment. You had movies and music, and then you also had games which came out on the other side as well for things like Amiga and Spectrum and Super Nintendo and stuff like that. No, I miss places like that. But I'm getting off of the story. But this game, I've completed it so many times, and it is such a fun game. Such a fun game. It's a bit on the easy side, but the time that you get out of it is just a great game all over. And that's Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins. And I wish I still had the box and the booklet, because I think this is one of those games that's deserving of having like the whole box and whatnot. But that was Nintendo all over, having cardboard boxes, and you know, up until the N64, when they still had cardboard boxes. And it's like every single Sega game, apart from the Game Gear, had plastic clam cases, like heat cases, which would have been better for Game Boy games. But anyway, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, fun platformer, great graphics, brilliant gameplay, fantastic sound. I mean, especially the music. The music is really, really catchy. Really catchy. Really enjoy it. It's a fun game. If you haven't played it, I don't know why, give it a blast. It's well worth at least half an hour of your time. Such a fantastic game. And the final game in my top 6, in no particular order of course, one of the first games, again, that I ever had for the Game Boy, and I do remember getting this from Argos in Harlow when it used to be the Harvest Centre upstairs. As I say, one of the very first games I had for the Game Boy. A lot of fun. Pretty easy. But I love it all the same because there's quite a few secrets to it as well. And it is, of course, the original Super Mario Land. I mean, I don't think there was a Game Boy collection anywhere that didn't have this game in it. I think it was kind of like a staple of Game Boy collections, and I think it still is. It's probably one of the best platformers, to me, that I've ever played. It's just a lot of fun. The music's simple, but it's effective. The sound effects are minimal, but they're effective. The gameplay, it has it in spades. You do have an underwater level, but you're in a submarine. A submarine! In a Mario game, you're in a submarine. You're firing bullets. In a Mario game. I know you, when you pick up the fireball flower, you're throwing fireballs. But this one, you're firing bullets at enemies. No, sorry, missiles from a submarine to get rid of enemies. You have an aeroplane level at the very last level, an aeroplane level. You're firing bullets at enemies in the sky. This is possibly one of the best Mario games to me ever made, because there was 2 levels that did something different. A plane level firing bullets, a submarine level firing missiles. It's just a fantastic game. A fantastic game. And I don't think there's a rating that I could put on it, because I don't like when it's just like, oh, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 5 stars, you know, 90%. For me, it's either a scale of crap, bad, okay, good, great, brilliant. And I think it's just a needle thing away from brilliant because of the easy difficulty level. There are frustrating bits in it, but, and they do hold you back, but then once you hit your stride, you can complete it in no time. But the game does loop round and you get to do it all over again, but it's a bit tougher. That I haven't attempted yet. But a staple of every single Game Boy collection. It has to be. It really does has to be. And it is a fantastic, fantastic game. And one that, if you haven't got it in your Game Boy collection, you need it. You need it. It's the same with Super Mario Land 2. That has to be a staple of people's collections as well. They're just fantastic games. Brilliant games, and I can't recommend them enough. I can't recommend them enough. They're just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So that was part 2 of Nintendo Month. Look at R-Type on the Game Boy and my top 6 Game Boy games with 5 honourable mentions. If you haven't played some of those games, get them played. Get them played. For me, they're some of those are essential games for the Game Boy, like Dino Blaster, Mario Land, Battletoads. Some of them are quirky titles. Hunchback, you know. Dyna Blaster. For me, that's a quirky title. One of the early Game Boy games, and it's a brilliant game. Really is a brilliant game. You know? Get them played. Get them played. And if you have played them, if you love them, if you hate them, let me know in the comments below. Let me know your top 6 or top 5. Let me know what games I should check out. You know, tell me if you disagree with me, if you agree with me. If you have honourable mentions, let me know in the comments. I can't emphasise how much I love the Game Boy. The games are brilliant. And I think I will always love the Game Boy. It was a choice of either that or the Game Gear. Because I won the Game Boy, I had that, played it, loved it. I do love the Game Gear, but I think the Game Boy has more quirky games for it. Just fantastic. Really is fantastic. I mean, I do have kicks. I can see it from here. 1 second. And here it is. This, again, I got down in Eastbourne. Printed out in a DS case, and this is going to be another honourable mention. This is an absolutely brilliant game, and it's Taito again. Brilliant game, absolutely fantastic game. Fiendish, absolutely fiendish. And if you have an Amiga, there's a version on there as well. It's called Bally 2. German public domain game. Give that a go. It's exactly the same as Kicks, and that is a fantastic version, the Game Boy version. Pick that up as well. Pick that up as well. That's going to be another one. That's another honourable mention right there. And that's what I mean. There's so many good Game Boy games. It's hard to pick, you know. So anyway, that, as they say, is that for part 2 of Nintendo month. Next time I will be attempting a complete playthrough of, because I haven't played it yet, actually, Total Carnage? Yes, I might do a complete playthrough of Total Carnage. And I mean, it's going to be a first time play, complete playthrough, see how far I get. If I can get to the end, fantastic, or just until, you know, I lose all my lives, which will probably be the first level, same as R-Type. Yes, I'm shit at R-Type, I really am. But anyway, this has been USR1 Retro for Nintendo month. Again, if you like this, please like, comment, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so you get notifications of any of my future videos that I put up. It all helps and goes towards the YouTube algorithm, pushes my videos up so more people can see it, and they can laugh at my videos because of how crap they are. So yes, I'm kidding, but they are crap. Yes, so again, thank you very much for watching. Please stay safe, please take care, and I will see you on the next video. So until then, it's from this very, very warm Essex house. It's goodbye for now. Take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.